How are you?
I'm all right.
Welcome to Arusha.
Thank you.
Yes. Do you think there is sufficient interagency and cross-border collaboration in pursuit of justice for transnational and organized crimes in East Africa?
I think it is not, we can't call it sufficient because it can never be sufficient as such, but there is a lot of improvement. Where we are at now and where we were before, there's a significant change. But you find that as long as those collaborations and coordinations will still be subject to legislations and judicial process, it can't be as efficient as we would want to be or as effective as we would want it to be. But up to now, I would say that there is a lot of improvement, and that is the reason why networks like this, where you can have informal contacts, and you can do many things informally so that it is smooth when you come to judicial cooperation, is very important.
And do you have any examples that point or that demonstrate that interagency and cross-border collaboration has been, effectively addressing transnational organized crimes in the region?
Yes. I would start with the terrorism cases that occurred in Uganda. Kenya tried to assist them, not only in extradition and mutual legal assistance, but also with resources and expertise. And in wildlife cases, the 3 countries or the 5 countries are working together. And then there are networks, informal networks that assist in collaboration. For example, we have the SWAPO, the Police Chief Organization. We have the East African Association of Prosecutors. We have the East African Community. People use these forums to enhance collaboration and also to share resources.
Do you think anything can be done to improve the situation, for example, to increase that effectiveness?
Yes. And what can be done is, for example, we have to relook at all the laws that we have so that there is some kind of uniformity in the way that the laws provide for this kind of coordination. And secondly, there is need to give more capacity to our criminal justice agencies, because as you know, now criminals use technology, and technology is very expensive. They're always ahead. So there is need for capacity building. There is need for responsive laws. And then there is also need for all the East African countries to try to adhere to international instruments which give some kind of uniformity in the way we define crime, the processes that we use in investigations, and even when we come to asset forfeiture and confiscation, because they move beyond the East African region.
And your division deals with a lot of transnational organized crimes. Has the prosecution of other crimes like crimes against humanity fallen on the wayside? And or would you say that transnational organized crimes are more prevalent, therefore warranting more attention?
They feed into each other. There is a convergence. You cannot really say that this is 100% transnational organized crime and this is 100% crimes against humanity. They feed on each other. But I think my experience is that to reach the threshold of crimes against humanity is not very easy. The threshold is very, very high. You need very intensive investigations, tools of investigations, and the support of the community at large. And as long as some of these crimes are not propelled from within, it's as if they're propelled from outside. It makes it very difficult for people to cooperate with it. So what I would like to say is that transnational organized crime is very prevalent because of the level of our development. And at the same time, when you have so many tribes and your laws are not very efficient, you're still dealing with issues of impunity, you're dealing with issues of integrity, transnational organized crime will always find a safe haven to lay. But with international crimes, what I would say, the threshold is very high. We take them very seriously, and we have a unit in our office. Kenya has domesticated the International Crimes Act. We have the Transnational Organized Crimes Act. So we take them very seriously, and that is the reason why our governments and our institutions allow us to take part in this kind of collaboration to enhance our capacity in that area.
Yesterday there was a question that came from the floor. It's the concern that we have more men in the high positions in the prosecution offices. And we keep on wondering why is this the case and what can be done to ensure that we have more women in the higher positions or in the prosecution offices.
You know, traditional policies did not allow women to take up some of these jobs because of our traditions and culture. So women were afraid to take up these jobs. And then in instances where women took up these jobs, nobody really believed, you know, you have to prove yourself. They really want you to go above everybody else. So women felt that they needed more education, and at the same time, because of that cultural barrier, women went for soft professions, which did not need a lot of aggressiveness. And then we also find that crime has evolved. You remember the penal code as we had it before, there were more crimes against the person and they were more physical. But crime has now evolved to economic crime and other types of crime which are not physical as such. So initially fighting of crime was almost masculine. You can see the police, you had to be big and this. But now fighting crime and criminal justice system, we have to use more soft skills. And the women do better in that. And also you have to use your intuition, which I think women are better at using. So the evolution of crime and the methods of evolution of crime and the methods of committing crime has necessitated evolution of newer methods of fighting crimes, and some of these soft skills women are comfortable in. And of course also there's more space for women to advance their education, and we also have what justifies your question, because we have to do an affirmative action for women to be included in leadership positions. So I think we are trying, and as we move forward, people are seeing the strengths of women and how effective they can be, and I think the situation is improving.
Of course, you are among the few women in senior prosecution positions, let's say even in Africa. What advice would you give to other women, especially who are looking up to where you are, and maybe one day they would like to be in your position?
I think one of the things that you really need to do is to showcase yourself and your strengths. If you just sit behind and you have all these abilities and you have this strength and you have the education and you can impart something, you must come out of your comfort zone. So you have to pull your weight. So you have to showcase yourself, because nobody will showcase you. And secondly, we have to fight for our space. When you go somewhere, not only by your ability, but even physically, the way you sit, where you go to, women always take the back seat. You have to come out and show yourself. And I also think that women must join networks, professional networks and other networks, because within them, you can then you can contribute and they can assist you to come up.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate. Thank you for taking your time to be here. We really appreciate that. Yes.